Dear brothers and sisters in Jesus Christ, today in the first reading from the book of Jeremiah, we hear about two people. One is self called or self proclaimed and very much selfish false prophet Hananiah. And another prophet is God proclaimed, God supported, God assured prophet Jeremiah. Hananiah gave a prophecy in the temple which was false. He even takes on Jeremiah in front of the people, but God assures Jeremiah that he is the true prophet. For leading the people astray, Hananiah was punished by God. Gospel text reminds us that we must trust the Lord all the times, even when it's difficult to do so, even our perceptions lead us astray. Going into the details of the first reading as well as the gospel, having already tried to bring about the execution of Jeremiah, the false priests and the prophets elected to counteract Jeremiah's teachings by a dramatic confrontation and denial of his public prophecies. Their representative in this endeavor was Hananiah, son of Azur, a Gibeonite, probably a priest. As I said, he was a self-proclaimed prophet in front of the people. Of course, he was blessed with a loud voice, and with his arrogance, he misled the people and assured them or prophesied them the restoration and the prosperity of Judah. But he was in fact making false prophecies. At this juncture, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah and asked him to communicate the yoke of iron that is going to be placed on the neck of all those nations. And as I said, Hananiah was punished because he rebelled against God. He made false promises against the Lord and to the people. He made them false hopes. So he was punished and he died later. What do we understand from today's first reading? We should be able to, dear brothers and sisters, distinguish between what is good and what is bad. What is the evil spirit and what is the good spirit, and distinguish between false prophecies and true prophecies in today's the globalized world. And today we are gospel reading where we read Jesus walking on the water. Having performed the first miracle of the loaves, feeding 5,000 men, excluding women and children, witnessed by all the crowd who came to listen to him, we came to get the healing touch by Jesus, and also disciples also witnessed the feeding of the multitude by Jesus. Jesus made his disciples to get into the boat and ask them to go to the other side of the lake. He did not go with them. And he was also sent the crowd away. Just reflect for a while, why did Jesus do this? Why did Jesus send disciples away ahead of him? And why did Jesus send the crowd away? If you come to the middle of the passage in the same chapter 14, Matthew's Gospel 14, on hearing the death of the cousin of Jesus, John the Baptist, he wanted to be alone and pray. Jesus wanted to be alone and pray, but people followed him. But Jesus gave priority for the needs of the people. He taught them and healed them, and then late evening he fed the multitude. So why Jesus wanted to be alone over there? He wanted to probably mourn over the death of his cousin. Probably he wanted to be in contact with his father. Probably he wanted to pray alone. Here again, Jesus wanted to be alone. If you go to again to understand this concept, you should go to St. John's Gospel, chapter 6, verse 15. Jesus realized that they were about to come and take him by force and make him king, so he withdrew to the hills by himself. Do you understand the point now? Why Jesus wanted to be away from the crowd? The crowd, after getting satisfied with the meal given by Jesus, they wanted to take him by force and make him a king by all means. So Jesus wanted to escape this situation. Unfortunately, disciples also complicated the situation. They also thought Jesus and his kingdom in terms of earthly powers. They could not understand why Jesus was doing these things, why Jesus was teaching about the kingdom of God, not belonging to this world, but belonging to the above the world. And Jesus went alone and prayed, and when he came down from the mountain, and he had to reach the disciples. So disciples saw him walking in the water. They did not recognize him first. They thought it was a ghost. So Jesus said, take courage. Do not be afraid. It is I. It is I. So no sooner had a need arisen than Jesus was there to help and save. When disciples needed, Jesus was there always. That is a point you should understand. Dear brothers and sisters, in our personal, professional, and community life, the wind is often contrary. There are times when we are up against that wind which is contrary in our life. And life is a desperate struggle with ourselves, with the various circumstances and the various situations and with the various decisions we take in life. At such a time, no one needs to struggle alone. They want someone's help and somebody's helping hand always during those situations. And with his calm, clear voice, the Jesus' calm, clear voice, do not be afraid, take courage, I am with you, and we can be sure that there is Jesus always for us when you face the struggle and when you face the hardships. We are now in the danger of being overwhelmed by the unexpected coronavirus. This is a storm created by the unexpected coronavirus now. It has brought a war situation in the lives of the people. How do we keep our faith in this situation? How do you keep our faith? Are we also allowing ourselves to sink like Peter during this pandemic? Or we are trying to hold on to Jesus, who is stretching out his hand to us. Come on, take my hand, hold on to me, do not be afraid. These things will come and go, but have faith in me. No little faith, have great faith. Dear brothers and sisters, God is willing to stretch out his helping hand, take hold of us. We need to hold on to him as Peter did. Let us be men and women of the great faith and courage. And during this Eucharistic celebration, let us continue to pray for the grace that we journey with the Lord without fail and with a lot of courage and with a lot of faith.
As an island, journeying through life alone. Since we are most loved by our Mother, Jesus gave us His own. Be with us, Mary, along the way. Guide every step we take. Lead us to Jesus, your loving Son.